Hey, everybody, welcome to the nation. That's BBQ Nation. I'm JT, along with my co host and Ball of Fame, Hall of Fame barbecue member,
That too. That too.
Leanne Women. Leanne Women. Yeah. I'm going to go iron my tongue here in a minute. We're
Okay.
coming to you from our respective Turn It, Don't Burn It studios. Mine in Portland, and Leanne's permanent one is in Tampa, but she may be in Daytona today.
I'm in like Lauderdale and then headed to Daytona.
Well, there you go.
Mhm.
We'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef, beef the way nature intended. You can check them out online at paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com. Well, if you're a YouTuber and you like YouTube, which I happen to do, um, there's lots of stuff out there. There's nothing I don't think you can find on YouTube. But one of the things that Leanne brought to my attention a while back were our guests today, Adam and Brett Walton, the Waltwins, which I think is quite clever.
Thank you.
Weekend warriors with a huge following on the tube, and they do some great recipes and barbecue on there and grilling, and they kind of cover it all. So it's a real pleasure to welcome them to the show today. Hey, guys.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be here.
No problem. So the first question, other than your parentage, because that's obvious. Okay. You guys are like looking in a mirror. But how did you get into first like grilling and cooking? And then what made you take the step to putting it on film, so to speak?
That's a great question. Brett, do you want to start? You kind of got me going into cooking back when you would do some grilling.
Yeah, my growing, we always loved cooking. Growing up, we watch mom dabble and things like that. But when I was in the army, I got a grill and just became a thing. I was married with kids, so all the single soldiers like to come over, and we just throw meat, throw some groceries down, and kind of cook whatever. And that's when I kind of started learning about just whatever you throw, whatever you want to eat, throw down, season it up, and you're gonna enjoy it. So that's
Yeah.
pretty much when it started on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Were,
And sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, were your folks big, backyard cookers or anything?
Funnily enough, not a whole lot. We grew up actually in Utah, and so we did have a grill out on our patio, and my dad would make some good burgers, aka hockey pucks. Some make some barbecue chicken from time to time. But we loved our mom's cooking, probably like most everybody does. And oddly enough, we come from a family of seven. There's seven kids, and we've got an older brother and a sister who are just phenomenal cooks. Our brother was a chef for several years, and our sister is probably the best cook that we knew. Anytime we taste her food, we just like pick her brain. How did you do this? And so taking on Brett and I would just phone call and start talking about different cooks, things we were doing. And then one year I just wanted to take on Thanksgiving turkey and reached out to my mom and she would walk me through the process. That became every year I would call her and she'd walk me through making the turkey. And that I just really, really loved it. And then I guess after she passed, we were really, really just talking more recipes with our sister, and we just realized we had a passion. I tell people all the time, like I went to school for education. I'm a teacher now. If I could go back and do it again, I love my students. I love teaching, but I'd probably go to culinary school. There's just something
Yeah.
we have a drive for it. We talk about it. It is anytime Brett and I are talking, we're almost always either talking YouTube, what's going on there, or just
Yeah.
food and recipes and what we're going to do and what we can learn. So we love it.
Well,
Leanne, I think
yeah.
I was just going to say, I think these guys did something really smart. They kept talking to their mom. So many people that we talk to, whether it's on the show or not, they'll be, conversing about food and barbecue stuff, obviously. And I know Leanne did this too with her dad.
I did.
Uh, what they say, a lot of people say, "Gosh, I wish I didn't get that pecan pie recipe from my mom or whatever."
Yeah.
And I think
Right.
that's really smart to get that traditional stuff.
Yeah, it's true. It laid the foundation and the basis, and I still do the turkey the same way. The same way, last couple of years I talked to her, it was more just the tradition because she had walked me through it enough. So yeah, that down to our basic gravy that I make is very simple, basic, but it's the way that mom did it. So
There you
still
go.
enjoy it.
That's great.
There you go.
So you were in Utah. So yeah, I see you're in two different locations now. Are you
Uh-huh.
at least in the same state?
We are. So I'm actually in Orlando. I'm just outside Orlando in Apopka, and Brett is up there in Gainesville, right outside the Gainesville area. So we're about 2 hours away.
Okay. So you're able to get together to shoot these videos, or do you kind of try to snip it together?
No, Brett, I know I'm doing all the talking. Brett, you want to keep going? You want to chime in? How do you want to do it?
I just want to fill in. I'm doing babysitting duty with my granddaughter. My girlfriend's trying to get here to take over, but 3 o'clock start. The show must go on. So
Hi,
she's
sweetie.
here. She's all,
Hey,
why
Sienna.
can't you talk? This is Sienna, 5 years old. We
Hi.
finished her homework. We finished her homework in time, so she did her reading and her homework. So
So
Yep.
she's glad to harass you now.
yeah, exactly. Now she's got Mickey Mouse out there to hopefully hold her over. But is this more interesting? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yes. Today's opposite day. I promise.
Okay.
But yeah.
So as far as that goes, so what we do is, and we've done this for the past several years. When we started YouTube, we didn't start out as a cooking channel. It started from a silly face swap app that we had. We did face swap with each other, and because we're identical twins, we were giggling like crazy at it because to us we don't look the same. So I saw my face on his body, and he saw his face on my body. And we uploaded it, and Viral Hog reached out to us and said, hey, we think this is good. We think this will go viral. We didn't know anything about it, so we signed the rights over to it. Sure enough, it went viral. Went 4 million views overnight or something like that. We thought, man, people like looking at freakishly identical twins. Maybe we got something here. So we spent the first about 4 years doing everything from carpool karaoke to challenges to just vlogging in general. And then we started doing fast food reviews because I was doing all the editing. I'd spent countless hours researching YouTube, how to get in the algorithm and all that. So we were doing fast food reviews and it was okay. And then COVID hit and there was no way people were watching dudes go out and eat burgers. You know, it's like, you should be staying home. Yeah. Right. And it just so happened that I decided, you know what, let's get a griddle, and had no idea we were striking while the iron was hot. We went live on YouTube and we asked our audience of, I think 12 people, Brett, were there on our live. And we said, hey, how many of you would like to watch us cook? Because we've been talking about doing it for years. I just thought, I couldn't imagine how I was going to film it. That was my whole issue. But we started doing it, and it took off. But yeah, so we get together every 3 weeks to about 3 weeks, and we'll meet on a weekend. And if we can get a cooking Friday night, great. But like right now where the sun goes down early, lighting's always an issue. We like to day cook. So we'll usually do, 6 or 7 cooks in a Saturday, and then Sunday we'll get up and try to get 3 more. We try to get 9 videos done, so that gets us 3 weeks out. Every once in a while we'll throw in a solo cook. So you've been there. It's a ton. It's there's
exhausting weekends. Yep. So
I like the way you say day cook. Most of my friends are day drinkers, and so they're not much help,
They're the day eaters. That's what they're there for.
You know, and I'm glad we met you guys, because you were talking about swapping faces. If you put my face on Leanne, that would not be a hit. Trust me. But
you never know.
You never know, though. But barbecue is one of those safe havens where big guys, because I'm a big guy like you are. Leanne is not that she's very petite,
Right.
And but I feel very comfortable. When I was walking around the Jack this year looking at everybody, I thought, God, I feel small.
Fit right in.
Right at home. Exactly.
Like who's Slim Shady over here?
Yeah.
Right. So what's the either one of you, Adam or Brett, what do you think is the biggest thing you've learned so far about this whole experience?
I'll say trust the process. And if you're following a recipe, or maybe you think you know something and you're just going through it, just know the end result is what you're going for. You might, and we get comments all the time of like, oh, we flipped this too soon or did that or whatever. There's always going to be haters. They're going to be there, but trusting the process, and especially the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with your palate and your skill and ability to cook, and not just cook, but cook good food that a lot of people want to eat. And so that's my biggest thing would be trust the process.
Adam?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. But I mean, there's so many things. But also for me, and as I had time to kind of think of that, is my biggest thing. I remember very distinctly several years ago wishing I could make a good biscuits and gravy recipe. And for whatever reason, I was like, man, if I could ever nail that. And so I learned to look for good recipes and follow good recipes, and they'll get you to Brett's point. You trust that process, you end up with good food, and then eventually you can start playing with it, tweaking things that you want. Yep. But I feel like I make a very basic biscuits and gravy that's my favorite, because I finally learned I can do this. And we do a lot of Asian cooks on the griddle, and those have become some of our favorites because they taste just like they do in the restaurant, just by following the recipe.
You have the right amount of grease. That's what I always say about
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, no. Do you think it's important that you guys not just do brisket? You know what I mean? I mean, it's name of this show is BBQ Nation, and you know, all those people, we love all those people, and that's where Leanne has really excelled, you know, in that
Right.
world. But I like to, and I know she does too. She can speak to this, but I think it's when you bring other forms and other dishes to the grill, to the, you know,
And
it
that's
doesn't
what they
matter.
do. I like what they do because I feel like they're integrating favorite things, but integrating into like another recipe where it combines things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people love
Yes.
that, but you're still keeping it simple. Simple is so
Right.
important.
It absolutely is, and that's such a good point. And we've loved, like, we still consider ourselves new with barbecue, and we are loving using the smokers and really learning the processes. You know, and we feel like we're smoker lights, lights, because we didn't do the stick burning and all that. We got right into pellet smoking, but it was. I remember same thing to that point when I wanted to cook a big brisket with the whole intent of taking some of that cut down brisket and putting it on a smash burger. So that way we were combining this amazing cut of meat and making one of our favorite burgers even better, little barbecue. And it still is one of the most memorable. But yeah, we love combining it. We've done a tomahawk, smoking it on the grill, and then finishing it off on the griddle. And we just love mixing the different cooking processes. But it's not a rocket surgery, as a friend of
Right,
mine would
No,
say.
right.
You
no,
know,
and a lot of
it's really
people
simple.
have added those flat tops to their backyards.
Yeah,
So it works. It isn't like
yeah,
few can do it because they don't have the
right,
equipment, and it's affordable too. And I think
right.
people enjoy the journey with you all because you
Yeah,
are kind of novices. I hate to use that word because you're really
yeah,
not, but in smoking,
really
but
appreciate it.
it makes it more achievable and people don't get intimidated and they're more apt to take the leap and do it at home, you know?
Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely. We gotta take a break for time before David yells at me. But we'll
Mhm.
be back with Adam and Brett Walton, the Wall twins. You've seen them on YouTube, and Leanne and I, and stay with us. We're coming right back. Welcome back to Barbecue Nation. I'm JT along with Ms. Leanne Whippen, um, barbecue champion extraordinaire, Hall of Fame member. And she can make the prettiest vase out of a toilet paper roll that you've ever seen in your life. We'll explain that later. But
Yeah. This is the on the road centerpiece.
the on the road
There you
centerpiece
go.
with a bath towel as a tablecloth and,
Yeah,
and all that.
etc.
If you want to follow us, we'd love that. You just go to or email us too. You can go to barbecuenationjt.com. There's a link there. You can send it to us. We're on all the platforms. X, formerly known as Twitter and Facebook and Insta and not Insta and Sankey or whatever they are, but we're out there. So give us a listen. But like I said, we're talking with Adam and Brett Walton today, the Wall twins. Did you think when you started that it would turn out like this? I mean, you're not anywhere near done, but you know, it's like,
Right.
Right.
what the hell is going on? You know?
Yeah, it was. It's been a tremendous journey. We are blown away that we have such a following that we do, and sometimes it's the following, and sometimes people point out how many views we have on different platforms, and it blows our minds. No, when we first started, we really did, because the one little viral video went viral, and I think everybody that starts YouTube kind of has that vision, like, oh, I can put this on YouTube, everyone's going to watch it. Then you put a video up, and you're like, okay, this video has 47 views, and I think I've watched it 37 times. So, you start to realize
Exactly.
people aren't watching, you're watching. And it was when we cooked, and I was so grateful that I had spent the time, the years of learning the algorithm and learning how to a good thumbnail along with title and description and those things to help drive the algorithm. So when we started griddle cooking, at that time when everybody was staying home, we had no idea it was going to blow up. And we got very fortunate. We went from 1,600 subscribers March of 2020 to 6,000 by June, 13,000 by August. And then YouTube reached out to us, and we'd become Their YouTube creators on the rise for a day, meaning we were featured on their homepage for 24 hours. So we were two videos below Mr. Beast's stuff for a full 24 hours, and we got another 10,000 subscribers overnight, and that just really stunned us, and that got the things going there. But no, we never expected it to take off the way it did. But it I think what it helped us is really hone our skills and realize we can't fake it anymore. This isn't like a fake it till you make it time deal, because somehow we made it in this weird, bizarre, not ready for this, and we better start doing something here. So
Yeah.
it took us by surprise.
Do you find sponsors reaching out to you wanting to use their products, or do you have to reach out to the sponsors?
Brett, you want to take it, or you want me to keep going? I know I keep
you can keep going. I mean, we both are on the email, but Adam usually responds on behalf of us. We do get a lot of sponsors reaching out, and big, not huge. I mean, Pit Boss is obviously huge for us, and huge, but we get a lot of no-name people that are just like, hey man, can you help us out? We'll send you product, and Adam, you want to go from there?
Yeah, I was gonna say we almost daily get people asking for just a lot of hey, we'll send you our product, if you'll push it. And of course, when we were first starting, we're like, holy cow, Brett, we got this meat grinder for free. Are you kidding? This is crazy. Of course, this is the small little one you can get on Amazon, but we still love it, But it got to a point where like we got to stop just taking free stuff.
Right.
Like we could maybe get paid for some of this, but no, we've only ever tried to reach out that I remember one time, and it didn't really work out, but we were still early on. But we've had sponsors reach out to us, and we still do, and we appreciate it. With time, we both have full-time jobs, so we can't. If we could do this full time and work on full sponsorships, man, that would be incredible. But we're just not at that level yet, and so we're grateful for the partnerships that we do have. But yeah, it makes it a lot of fun when you realize people are willing to use your likeness and your image, and we always try to make sure we honor our brand and our goals and our values and anything that we do. So, we sometimes try to match up. Like we've had brands reach out that would be great, and they've offered us, paid gigs and things, but it's just, we're family friendly. So there's things that we just wouldn't add to our repertoire for sponsorships or brands.
Do you find that when you get really big views, does it surprise you, or was that your goal on that particular video?
That's interesting, because I watch the algorithm like crazy, and Brett knows, like, it's like I can never be satisfied with where we're at, because I'm like, wow, that video did really good as expected. Sometimes we have videos that disappoint because I feel like, hey, I did this right, the thumbnail looks great, and they don't. But yeah, there are some that really surprise us. And what we're finding now, it used to be like a video could take off and we'd have a whole bunch of views within the first 48 hours. I'm like, wow, this one's really taking off. What I'm finding now is they'll kind of be middle of the pack. Then all of a sudden, 2-3 weeks, a month later, I'll look and I'm like, oh, wow, that has a lot more views than I thought. So they're rolling in different now. So I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. But yeah, there are some that still really surprise me. I think, and we'll say probably the most discouraging, I say discouraging half-heartedly, because it's really not discouraging. It's all amazing. Our most viewed videos, though, have nothing to do with cooking. It's about how to clean and take care of the griddle, or some of our unboxing videos, which are fun. But it's like, did you not see our new smash burger video? No, it's amazing.
So I gotta ask you this, because and Leanne touched on this, and you covered it, Adam. How many times have you gotten a package in the mail, so to speak, and it's spices, rubs, whatever, and I happen to have a whole closet full of them, and I tend to give them away. Not that they're bad products, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just too many. You can't possibly use them in what you're doing.
Right.
So Leanne, she built a warehouse, so it's okay. But
there is a lot.
There's a lot.
There is.
There are. I like to go to Brett's house. He keeps it so nice and organized on this huge spice rack. And I just look at them. They're so amazing. I'm like, we will never use all of these. And then I remember all that I'm looking at his place, I have just as many at mine.
Yeah.
We do get stuff all the time.
Yeah. So folks, if you're listening to this, it doesn't mean we wouldn't like to try your products.
Absolutely.
But that's where we'll kind of, it's
And to be
Look.
fair, I'm sure you look at the product and how many followers they have and that kind of thing, because it's more promising for you all to use a product that has a bigger following. I mean, that's the goal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And I think that's kind of, Leanne, that's a great point. I think it's kind of the hidden part of content creation that a lot of people who don't do it don't quite understand. And it does become discouraging. People think we sell out because we're using one product or another, and it's not. We're really trying to support ourselves and our families. But also the flip side to that is that we're not going to be able to use everything or do everything. But it is, so our vision and use of them, obviously we will never promote anything that we don't think is a great product. We've never been like, oh, sure, they want us to do, some weird product or a spice that we would
Right.
just never use. So we try to be honest and keep it real, so to speak. But at the same time, it's like we do have an audience, and our end goal is to build our audience. And, we want to keep being able to entertain, but also share. But we also realize that our whole brand is built in who we are. So if we have products that people can't trust, then eventually we lose all credibility, and it's not worth it. So
Right.
I heard your numbers. You say you shoot, 9 videos on a weekend for the next 3 weeks. So it sounds like your frequency is important too. So you're doing probably 3 a week, and
Yep.
that's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to take another break. We're going to be back with Adam and Brett Walton, the Waltwins, and Ms. Whippen and myself right after this. You're listening to BBQ Nation. Welcome back to the Nation. I'm JT along with Leanne, and whoops, I got my script in the wrong spot. How about that? We'd like to thank the folks at Painted Hills Natural Beef the way nature intended. Excuse me. They still have, I talked to them yesterday. If you go to their online store at paintedhillsbeef.com, and you order something from the store, if you type in the code BBQ Nation, you get 15% off. So you can buy everything from a couple of pieces of jerky to New York's or whatever you want. So go there. Also, pig powder, best rub on the planet award. Leanne, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, it is. And competition teams use it all the time. And we're looking at actually getting some ambassadors at this point that use it frequently that have won a lot of awards. So use it on home, pork, chicken. It's great on everything.
It's great on green beans.
It is.
It is.
Great on French fries. It's
and
great
French.
on baked
Oh
beans.
yeah.
It's
not
so just
here,
a dry rub. It's a seasoning.
yeah, it is a
Right.
seasoning. So here's a question for you. When you guys are eating French fries, and I've never asked Leanne this question either. If I put I like a little salt on stuff. Besides the seasoning, I put the salt on my ketchup, and then I do it that way. Is that weird, or is that okay with you guys?
I think that's very weird.
We've actually been doing that for quite some time.
Yeah.
True story. My older brother taught me that when we were younger, going to Wendy's, because Wendy's notoriously didn't salt their fries. So he would crack open their little salt, and they have really fine salt there that was really good. Mix it in that. So yes, I've done that before.
Okay,
so I'm
Leanne.
the weird one. I'm
Yeah.
the weird one.
No, it is weird.
Depends on
It
the
is weird.
fry. Depends on the fries.
We're the only people we know that do it. So
Yeah, well, now you met another one.
and now
There
JT,
you
yeah,
go.
exactly.
Because I know when I'm eating with my wife or we're out or something, and if I get fries or something, and I'll take a little sauce or something, depends on the plate, and I'll put the ketchup on there, and I say, you want some ketchup? She's like, no, you put salt in it.
Too salty.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing. You've never done that, Leanne?
No, I have never. I guess I have to try it now, but I don't like ketchup.
Maybe.
Oh, there you go.
Fries.
Well, if you
I
got,
guess
if
we
you,
can start there.
yeah, if you've got secret fry sauce, you could do it in your secret fry
Hey,
sauce too.
I like them straight up.
Okay.
There you go.
She probably drinks her bourbon neat or something. I don't know.
No. Yeah, everything. Less is more, as they say.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
When you guys really start getting into the YouTube, and Adam, you talked a little bit about studying the algorithm and stuff, and Leanne brought this up right at the end of the last segment, the frequency. If you're going to do this, I think you have to be pretty dedicated. You can't just drop one video. If you're going to try to make something out of it, you know, you
Right.
can't drop one video every 6 months and then say, look at me. You know, unless you're a Martian or something, and then that all
Right.
bets are off. But the point is
Right.
that frequency, do you think that is what kind of inhibits some people from really being successful on social media and especially YouTube?
It does. Dwayne the Rock Johnson can do that. He could probably drop a video every 1 month or two and, you know, get millions of views. No, it is there, and that's the biggest thing I learned. And I feel really fortunate, and that first of all, my wife supported me just doing this when this was a habit. We weren't making any money doing this at all. That she just
Right.
let me do the research, because sometimes it was. I remember being up 1, 2 in the morning, reading, doing some research, watching YouTubers who teach how to YouTube, so to speak. And that's where I learned about the algorithm, and really getting the ear of a really good friend who, we were small channels at one time, and then he started doing gaming, and then he blew up, and you know, was gracious enough to me to talk with me for a good hour or two. And he just said, learn Al. And he said, Al is what I call the algorithm. And it really came down to, what do I need to do? And he gave the advice to upload 3 times a week. It wasn't like specific, like this is, everybody's number is going to be different. There's some people who do every day, some people who twice a week works, once a week if you're dedicated and you've got that following. For us, we find 3 is a good number. Sometimes it's like, some people say, wow, like, you know, you guys are uploading so much, I'm not able to catch up. So they watch them all. For some people, they can't get enough. So it was just learning that. And I remember dedicating for 1 year, we were going to do 3 videos a week. And I knew that meant we were going to have to film a lot more and get together more and kind of sacrifice. And it was at the tail end of that year that actually I not missed one upload. That the next year was 2019 is the year I dedicated that. And then the next year was, you know, COVID year. And fortunately we started cooking. So yes, I think if you're going to do YouTube, learn how to let YouTube work for you. They say it's not an algorithm. Your algorithm is just your audience, but you got to start somewhere, and you've got to build an audience. You can't build from nothing. And we have some people who are very successful on other platforms. We work with TikTokers who have 2 million followers, but can't grow on YouTube, and they're frustrated because you can make money on YouTube, but you can't on TikTok.
Right.
And so we feel fortunate that we kind of started on there, and we're trying to do TikTok and all these others, which are now I'm learning a whole new process of filming and doing everything, changes everything. But yeah, so it's a beast, and it's hard. So, you know, it doesn't always translate. Different audiences prefer different platforms.
Do you, when you drop something on YouTube, but do you back it up with X, Twitter, Insta, whatever? Do you support it that way, so that maybe, you know, because maybe somebody gets notices from Twitter. I'm just going to call it Twitter. Sorry, Elon.
Yeah.
But you know, but they get a notice on their phone from Twitter, like when they're at work, that you dropped a new video. And so is your science behind that?
There is, and there can be. For a while, every time I would upload, every single video I would upload for about 6 months to a year, maybe longer than that, I would send it out to Facebook and Instagram. Those were 2 main other ones at the times before TikTok. And we had Twitter a little bit, but we've never had a really strong following on Twitter or X. And so I would push them out, and I found that very few of our Facebook audience were coming over to watch the video. They either just say that's great, or can you post some pictures here? And that's where I was saying the audiences are different. Now, obviously, as we grow, it is very smart to integrate all of them for sure. It's just something that we haven't taken the time to dig in more, and we really should. And this is where we think, man, we, you know, get somebody as a social media expert, or get, you know, more help with it, because that was where our focus was growing on YouTube. And we're kind of at that point where we're like, hey, time to really get the ball rolling and get everywhere. So we're grateful for the following we have on Facebook and even Instagram, which is so much smaller than where we're at with YouTube, but it's also where we put our time and our effort.
Right. How often, when you're creating your 9 for over the weekend for the next 3 weeks like that, how many times do your recipes fail? I mean, Leanne and I have had it. You know, you're thinking this is, excuse me, going to be great, and at the end you look at it and go, that's not very good.
Brett, I still like, I'm just all talking, Brett.
That's not once have we failed. Once. several times. Yes, it is. It the griddle seems to be a little more forgiving than a smoke. Like if we've destroyed a brisket, which I'm sure we all have, and that's a very expensive, frustrating beef jerky that you just made. And you film it and you get it done, and then you go cut into it. And you're like, oh, look, it's dry. Oh, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Get the sport bottle. We got to squirt something on there to fall off. Yes, I think it happens more often than we'd like to.
Yeah, you open it up and it says Reebok on the inside.
When you do your YouTube videos, do you find time as an element? Also, you try not to go over a minute, or what do you think that's important?
That's great. We find our sweet spot, and some of that has to do with advertising. So YouTube, it used to be 10 minutes and longer. They'll do a mid-roll ad, which they like because that means they're able to show more ads if your audience is sticking around for it. So you can make a little bit more money. They went down to 8 minutes and longer. So 10 minutes is still the sweet spot. But if you're making videos that people aren't sticking around for, you don't want them that long. So for some people, 4 minutes is all they do. We found for us a good spot is between 11 and 15 minutes. Sometimes some of our longer content does really well. Sometimes we don't get as much watch time. And that's what we look for is watch time and engagement are two of the data points that I look at.
You're the first ones that we've had on the show that has said that length of time. It's
Yeah.
So you must be, well, you are very entertaining.
Well, we get a lot that say, get to the point, just show me what I need. And that's kind of what we look, and I guess that's probably how we look at it too. But we also have it toyed with like really, well, no, we did do, I mean, this was early on, some shorter videos, 3-4 minutes. And we found we literally get the same amount of watch time. It's about anywhere from 40 to 70% watch time on all the content. So it's like if it's 2 minutes, that means people are watching, a little more than a minute of it. But if it's 15 minutes and they're watching 7 or 8 minutes, that's gonna, on the YouTube end, be way better for us. So, but it's part because we look at it as a cooking show rather than just how to. Here's the step-by-step. Hurry and get to this point. Which some people have mentioned, man, just try and get to the point, but they're like, man, you can scrub past it. So it is about building our audience and working with our audience. But to that point, we are always willing to look and say, if we are going to do a straight how-to video, just here's what you need. Let's get to the point. You're going to do this for this amount of time and we could do shorter as well. But we found for us and what YouTube prefers, because they want to roll ads. They want people on the platform as long as they can. They want to run ads. And so if we can help generate that, for it, then we're here for it. But yeah, if it helps to do shorter content and then people are watching, then that works as well.
Do you think that is kind of indicative of watching that, get to the point, quick stuff? Do you think that's indicative of like TikTok and Instagram and stuff that they've become kind of anesthetized to that? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that I've noticed that when people do that, they want you to hurry, because when we put these shows up, they'll scroll to the good part. You know what I mean? And they'll watch it like that. But do you think that's one of the reasons?
Absolutely. I think just in general, people's our attention span is there's a major deficit. In fact, I use the example I learned seeing a research on there's a children's show called CoComelon, very, very popular right now. And if you watch it, the transitions happen every 2 or 3 seconds. And it's stunning because more of them are 2 seconds than 3. In old movies, they used to say, if you could, every 9 seconds, you got to make a transition. Then it was every 7 seconds. Then I learned on YouTube, you want between 4 and 8 seconds. So I cut my edits. So we're either zooming in or out, panning out every, several seconds to help with attention. With that CoComelon, that constant every 2 seconds moving. But yeah, we have noticed since TikTok has really taken off, the watch time has dipped substantially. We're talking about between 1 and 2 minutes per video overall watch time, and you can attribute it right when TikTok really took off. It's crazy.
There you go. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to ask the burning question: is Brett really a shock jock on the radio? We'll be right back. Welcome back to the nation. With Miss Whippen and myself, we'd like to thank the folks at the Oregon Crab Commission. going to be doing I've created a couple new recipes. So we got some new stuff coming up on the shows that I work on TV with the Oregon Crab Commission. And if you ever get up to the Northwest, you got to eat some Dungeness crab. I'm just telling you. I have a convert on the other end of this line with us today.
I will second that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm trying to con them into sending you some, but I got to make sure you're home to get it, because that's not something you want to leave out in the Florida sun very long.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, that would
I'm
just
staying
be
home from now on.
okay.
Pay for that crap.
So
There you go. So, Brett, you were a morning host at a rock station in Gainesville. That's Gainesville's not my old stomping grounds, but I started my radio career as a morning drive rock jock.
okay, and we're actually not rock. We're top 40 kind of hot AC, adult contemporary. We do the pop music. We play a lot of Taylor Swift. So all of Taylor Swift.
Oh God, I knew you were going to say that.
You mean you only play Taylor Swift?
It's pretty much Taylor Swift 105.3 here in Gainesville. Yeah, I've been here for 19 years. Started out driving we have a big giant boombox that we take to events, live broadcasts. And then a few months in, I got a chance to do the night show, where I did the hottest night show in the universe. I did that for 6 years, a couple stints on the morning show, and then finally they put me back on the morning show, and I've been there for the last 13, 14 years. Loving it.
Great.
That's
awesome.
a long time for a morning host.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
And the fact that I'm still at the same station that I started at is virtually unheard of in this industry. Radio is a very revolving door type industry where people will come through and use it as a stepping stone or a starting point. Gainesville, we're middle market 83 to 86 out of like 200 some odd markets. So we're on the larger part of the middle market. So it's been a great place for me to land. And I got big granddaughters here, and we've got relatives right here. So I've been fortunate to be able to stay and be at the same place where it all started.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, that is great.
My test by fire was Los Angeles.
And, boy.
That'll do it.
Because
we'll do it.
No other dummy would raise their hand and say, "You want to do the morning show?" So that's what I did for a couple of years down there.
Well, at least the advantage to LA is that they're in their cars for a very long period of time.
Yes, they are.
True. You've got long-time listeners. That's right.
Captivated audience.
Yep. So this question is for both of you. You both get a shot at this one here. How's what you've learned doing, and I'm not talking about the process, the videoing it, the filming it, but the actual cooking process, has that changed what you do when you go to a restaurant? What you order?
Brett, you can go first.
Yes, the palate has definitely changed from a simple cheeseburger with just ketchup, mustard, and mayo. I'm not like so picky as far as like the way I order things. I'll just order, but it's definitely expanded my palate to the point when 4 years ago I hated onions, and now I can't have a burger without them. It's simple things like that. The things that we found that we're enjoying that we never would have tried eating out at a restaurant before, and now we're actually seeking them out when we go to a restaurant or going to a restaurant for that specific reason.
Yeah. Adam?
Yeah. And to that point, I appreciate, my wife says I've ruined smash burgers for anywhere, Five Guys anywhere. Like, why spend the money when we can do them just as well or better at home, which I appreciate. But the one that I've learned, actually, one odd thing just through the whole process is, especially with steaks, if I'm going to go out and pay for a steak, I've learned to ask the server how would the chef or how would the cook eat it, like how would they want it. It almost comes back medium. And I used to be a medium well type person, and then I learned, medium to rare is better. So if I get a medium rare, but I always ask the chef's opinion, because if they're cooking it, they, I imagine they're cooking it how they would want it. So I've just learned to ask more and be more specific about some of the things I want. But yeah, it's like Brett, the food palate's changed in what we used to eat versus what we'll eat now. It's made it a lot of fun. It's definitely piqued our interest in a lot of new foods, trying new foods.
Well, people are creatures of habit, as you know. So even when they go back to a restaurant and for a second time and they were happy with the first go around, they're going to order the same darn thing.
Yeah.
It's just that way. So it's
That's
good
true.
you're expanding. So that's good.
Yeah.
We got a little cafe right down the road from us, and they, for what it is, they have a very expansive menu, and it's all good. But I order one of two things there, and my wife looks at me like I'm from Mars, but she does that a lot anyway.
Mhm.
I either order their spaghetti because I happen to like pasta, and I really like spaghetti with a meat sauce in it. I mean that's truly one of the things I really like. Or I ordered a chicken fried steak. And
I
that's
love chicken fried
Oh.
steak.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will do that. And Shell will look at me because she's trying the scampi or she's, doing this. And it's one of those places too that has you can order breakfast anytime. And you were talking about biscuits and gravy, Adam. I mean, she loves biscuits and gravy. She just
Oh wow, yeah.
So we'll be sitting there at 6:00 having dinner, and she'll order biscuits and gravy, and I'm ordering
wow.
spaghetti. So it doesn't,
There you go.
there's no
That's the
cohesion
best.
there. I'll tell you that. You guys did a cookbook real quick. We've got just a couple minutes left, but we'll get to this in after hours too. But you did amazing recipes for griddles and flat tops back in 22. How did you decide what to put in the book?
Well, okay, we actually feel fortunate. We just followed it up with the second one based on all smash burgers too, which we were blown away. Actually came about because the editor reached out to us, the publishing company reached out to us, and he's incredible and wanted to do it and just gave us a lot of suggestions. And really we went back to our YouTube. What have we done? What could we, pull together, and how do we want to do it? And then on his guidance, we decided how many dinner dishes we wanted to do, how many specific for each area, and it really helped guide us. And that was a painstaking process. I never thought, I thought, oh man, we've got all these cooks, it'll be easy. It's one thing to have the cooks, it's another when you're realizing other people are going to have to read and look at your exact follow right along. It's going to make it tough.
Yeah, I see Brett there shaking his head back there.
Is your second book out yet?
Yeah, it
I
is.
thought I had a copy here. I got it up there. It's
I happen to have the first one, Brett.
Oh,
I do have the other
nice.
one back there, but that's the Epic Outdoor Griddle Cookbook. This is the first one. And I thought I had the second one right here. They're up on a shelf. It's called Smash, but we love that one. You got it right there, dude?
Where can we find
Boom,
it?
I got it.
There it is, Smash right there. There we go.
Amazon's
These are
probably the
both
best yet.
Amazon or anywhere books are sold. We not that we push or promote Amazon, but with Amazon, the publishing company, they seem to track the numbers the best and give them the best overall. They know exactly what they're selling how. So, but it seems to be anywhere books are sold. I had a friend at Christmas time last year that took a picture, sent it to me that our book was on the shelf at Barnes and Nobles. That was an honor. That was like, oh, that's really great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Very cool. So I'm going to give you guys a little hint before we wrap this show here. You're going to be working with Leanne up in Daytona.
Yes.
She collects signed copies of cookbooks.
Okay. There we go.
Done.
We'll bring one of each. We'll bring one of each.
Yep, you got both. Exactly.
So, just throwing that out there for you.
Yeah, so we'll be at Daytona for the Daytona 500. We'll be doing chef demos all weekend long and shooting videos and cooking away. It'll be a blast. So hope to see everybody out at the Daytona 500.
There you go.
Nice.
We'll be there with Pit Boss, our friends.
Yeah.
There you
Come
go.
and meet us.
We love
say
that.
hey.
Exactly.
Okay, Adam and Brett, real quick, because we got to get out of here. Where can they find your YouTube channel? Obviously YouTube, but what do they look for when they're trying to find you?
Yeah, so you're just looking for Waltwins. That's WALTWINS, all one word. Waltwins on YouTube. You can find us same name. It's Waltwins on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Waltwins2, and same with Twitter if you're or X now if it is, and also TikTok. We're also on there as Waltwins. But YouTube is our main platform. But we try to promote and get everything else out everywhere else.
Very good.
Great.
Adam and Brett Walton, the Waltwins, and Leanne, thank you all for your contributions to the show today. We're going to get out of here. The guys are going to stick around for after hours, and that should be a lot of fun today. So for everybody here, I want to thank you, and remember our motto, turn it, don't burn it. Take care, everybody. So here comes the torture part.
Oh,
Okay,
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, I have faith in these guys.
We'll
I-
see.
Okay.
I'll have faith in these guys. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to After Hours here on BBQ Nation. You know, this is the part of the show the FCC will not allow to be aired for obvious reasons, as you will see. But we want to welcome Adam and Brett Walton from the Waltwins. Excuse me, my nose is itching. And I forgot to tell you that next week on the regular show, Carolyn Wells, one of the icons from Kansas City Barbecue Society, will be joining us. Carolyn's been on the show a few times before. Always great fun to have her here. But okay, guys, are you ready for this?
Let's do it. Bring it.
Here we go.
Okay. If you could cook for and then dine with a historical figure, who would it be and what would be on the menu?
Oh boy,
Holy cow. A
Didn't see that
historical
one.
figure.
And the historical figure can be either deceased or alive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be
Right.
historic, like gone forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can dig them up. So,
Dig him up. Let's
Dig
do
'em
it.
up.
Dig 'em
All right.
up, Secretary. That.
Oh,
Oh, I have to-
man, loaded.
Let's see here. Apparently, I may have to put you on hold. I'm having something going on here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll go ahead. Geez, well, while Brett's putting us on hold, let's put me on hold on the spot here.
Oh,
Golly, historical
did I get
figure.
that? Sorry. My gate. Oh, I let someone in the gate. I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, but
Nope. You're
this is
good.
not the case.
you're good.
Okay. So,
I guess
Brett,
you're having
anybody
more
that you could think of?
product delivered.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
probably more product. I have to open ice cream for Sienna here.
Oh man, let's see. God, historic figure. I can't.
We can come
Man.
back to it if you'd like.
Yeah, let's come back to that. Let me
All
give me a
right.
second to think about that one.
Okay. Name something that you were hot on when it first came out and then you changed your mind.
It could
Like
be
a food?
ingredient. It could be a piece of
Mm.
equipment. It could
This
be
is
a
good.
car.
Yeah.
Well, the one that comes to
we
my
could-
mind immediately. Sorry, Brett, go ahead.
I was going to say air. It got old real fast.
It's just we got over it so fast.
Yeah.
No, oddly enough, this is going to sound, and only the one that's coming to my mind right now. At Takis, those little hot.
Oh yeah.
When those first came out, so I was teaching middle school at the time, and my students were obsessed with them. Like, you gotta have Mr. Walton, you gotta have these. And I was like, no. Then when I finally got them, I became obsessed. Like, I would have to have a bag like somewhere close all the time to where it got to a point where it was hurting my belly. I had to stop eating them because they were just like, okay, never mind. I gotta not have those anymore.
Yeah. Brett?
Oh man, I can't really think. I feel like I fall into fads a lot of times. Being maybe top 40 music. It's a lot of times it's music songs, and I'll have favorite songs that will come and then it goes really quick. But I can't really think of anything else. Again, kind of stumped me on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Who is someone who has really gotten your attention in the last year? Not Taylor Swift, but somebody who's really grabbed your attention. It can be in food, it can be in music, it can be in acting, anything.
We have two of you. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I was waiting for Brett. I was gonna say, oddly enough, you said no Taylor Swift, but how about Mr. Swift, Travis and his brother Jason
Travis
Kelce?
Kelce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kelseys,
Yeah,
I've
true.
been following their podcast.
Isn't that
New
great?
Heights has been. I mean, every time it shows up, I sit and I watch every little bit of it. So I would say them together because they're so engaging. In fact, it's really funny. We've got a sister who works in California. She works actually right now. She's working on the Shark Tank. She's a producer, and she constantly says, "You guys need to start a podcast. The Kelsey brothers are just tearing it up. You guys would be so great." We're like, well,
Yeah.
they have a slightly bigger following than us, but yeah. But no, so that's that was an easy one for me.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
that, so.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you,
Yeah,
Brett?
that's good. But the only podcast that I've really come on to a lot this year is it's more of just the short for me, Joe Rogan. Surprise, just like everyone
Yeah.
else. But just he getting to know, and I don't know if it's because working in radio or whatever, he's such a good interviewer. and then learning how much he learns about his guests before they come on. And he's such a great interviewer because he's asking questions that you don't think to ask, but they're genuine questions that come from what he really wants to know about the guest that he's asking. And so
Yeah.
I really kind of honed in and try to use a little bit of that when I have guests on my show. And so I guess just in the last year, I know it's been around for longer than a year, but in the last year, I've really
Okay.
kind of turned on it.
What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
The worst thing.
I feel like it's got to be a fish of some sort.
You know what?
Yeah, and what's that fruit? I did not eat it, but I had a coworker that brought that the fruit, the durian fruit. Is that what it
Dorian
is?
fruit.
The smelly one, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was, before he opened it. Unfortunately, I was able to skip out of the radio station that day. But he had everyone else at the station try it. Consensus was it was a good thing that I didn't stick around. So that was my almost try. Other than that, squid balls.
Squid balls.
Squid balls.
Yeah,
I
squid
didn't know that squid had balls.
Yeah. And to be fair, I found out they were squid balls after I tried them. I was just like, I don't like this. This isn't good. And then I found out squid balls. And then, of course, just the sound made it taste even worse. So
there's our YouTube viral video right there.
Squid balls. You make some squid balls.
That's great.
There you go.
My wife has gone to like Norway and Sweden, and that her family is from that area. And she was telling me about this canned fish. I love fish, but this is kind of the old Viking type, salted, nasty. And she said she saw somebody open up, and I've seen this on television too, where they opened up the can and you can't get by once the can opener pops the seal, it's like that smell comes out. Whew. Anyway.
Yes, that I think it's called surströmming, isn't it? The surströmming.
Yeah.
It's that fish that people just like dry heave the second it's open.
Oh, yeah.
I could never.
Yeah.
It's fermented herring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could erase one mistake from your past, what would it be and why?
Well, I have more philosophical thought on that. I think our mistakes, we learn from them and we become better people for having learned from them. But I'm not sure. Brett, you made a lot of mistakes.
I was the same thing. Adam and I, and our nature is to be so positive that I'm not surprised that you said that, because that same thought popped in my head of we try not to have any regrets. Just learn from any mistakes, dust yourself off, and maybe we just haven't made any so big that we're like, I'd like to take that back.
Okay. Then let me ask you this: do you remember what the first thing was you got in trouble for as a kid?
Well, we've been told. We've been told. We were in our diapers. I believe tap shoes were involved, and the fireplace ashes, and us tap dancing on the fireplace.
Oh, before church. Before church,
yes,
we were
before
supposed to be getting ready
yeah.
for church. I remember the story. I was there. I don't remember it. I've been told.
Correct.
Well,
yeah.
I've had a lot of those types of memories too, Adam, in my life that
Yeah.
I was told I was there, but I don't remember.
Sure.
What's your least favorite activity in the world?
Least favorite activity in the
helping,
world?
Well, first of all, I hate moving.
Yeah.
And the one thing I hate more than moving is helping other people move.
Yeah. I'm with you.
We'll do it. And it is funny to Brett's point, because like when we've had to move, and one thing I appreciate about my wife, she will make sure every box is set up and in the front room ready to go. Every piece of furniture is taken down. There's nothing worse than showing up to help somebody move and they haven't even started packing.
Right.
Like, I came to help move, not pack and move.
Yeah. Right. So if you could, yes. If you could teach a politician to barbecue, cook, whatever, who would it be, and what would you teach them to cook? This is not a political show, but it's just a fun question.
Yeah.
It is a fun question.
That is fun.
Um,
It would be Smash Burgers. Whoever it is, it would be Smash Burgers, because bottom line, they're easier than you think, and they taste better when they're done.
Yeah.
And how about we split this one? Adam, I got the middle. You say the who.
That's fair.
Okay, you got the easy part. Gee whiz. Let's see. Who would we? You know, here in the state of Florida, Brett, let's teach Ron DeSantis, because food eases tensions and moods, and maybe put him in a good mood, and
There you
everybody be
go.
happy.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could kumbaya, and
There
just
you
all
go.
get along.
There you go.
Very diplomatic answer. Good job.
Yeah.
What
Thank you.
what is something your spouse was correct about, but you still think they're wrong?
One thing that she thinks she's right about, or one thing
No.
oh.
No. One thing that your spouse was absolutely right about,
Okay.
but you still think she's wrong.
I don't know, because I'm wrong
Oh,
so
yeah.
often.
Yeah, you just that's right up.
At least
to it.
that's what she
Like, oh, yeah,
tells
you're
me.
right.
So,
Yeah.
oh God, these are the questions.
How
These are
about
tough ones.
how about the man she picked?
Okay.
Just say it.
Oh.
There you go. That's a good one.
I think that's the
Yeah.
best answer
A
we've
little
ever gotten,
twisty.
Leanne.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Brett,
Yeah.
and Brett, I agree also with yours. I just-
Okay. Would you describe yourself as corn-fed or grass-fed?
Corn.
Oh, God.
Corn.
Corn.
Corn
Yeah.
fed? Yeah, corn
Yeah.
fed,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Meat potatoes.
Yeah. Leanne's the only one that is possibly on the precipice of
Grass-fed,
grass-fed. The rest of us,
Sure.
like that.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, here's one of your favorites: boxers, briefs, or thongs.
Yes.
For me or for
Your favorite?
For you.
How about,
Yeah, for you.
How about the good old boxer brief?
Boxer briefs, 100%.
That
Okay.
must be a
Brett,
popular
be
answer.
honest.
Yep.
Brett, be honest. You've got your thong drawer. I've seen it.
Banana hammock. What?
Yeah.
Banana
Yeah.
hammock.
Banana hammock. Yeah. Artisanal slingshot.
There you go.
If you were an animal, what animal would you be and why?
A lion, because it's my favorites. They're majestic. I love large animals. Lions always been my favorite. And yeah, that's pretty much my favorite. I love just the way that they stay together as a family and the pride. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay.
I would say either a silverback gorilla, because they're just tough and nobody's messing with them. And same thing, rhinoceros. Same, one of my favorites. But a rhino, nice and tough, nobody's messing. I feel like they could just chill wherever they are, and then just go eat and go to the watering hole without having to worry.
Yeah, they don't have
I like
much
it.
to worry about.
Right.
Rhinos, don't they? Yeah. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
they're thick-skinned. I wish I had thicker skin. Things offend people. See?
That's got to be tough. A little philosophy here, but you being a teacher and working with kids, I mean, I'm sure sometimes you wish you had thicker skin like that, but also you've got to have a lot of compassion to do what you do.
Oh, yeah.
I would not do that. I mean, I could not. I'd be like, no, out.
Yeah.
But
Patience.
patience.
Yeah,
Yes.
Teaching, especially, I teach high schoolers now, and it requires a lot of empathy, a lot of. I try to really look at their situations. I try to remind other teachers that a lot of these kids aren't going home to us as educators, as parents. They don't have two parents, educators, sitting down with them doing their homework. A lot of them, they're coming home to take care of the siblings because the parents are out working another job. So I try to bring that empathy with them, with me, and understand and try to teach from a perspective that is more meaningful to them. Because it can be tough. A lot of them don't make it easy, but you just remember that, and at the end, it ends up being worth it. So it's a little bit more
Absolutely.
satisfying.
Absolutely. We're talking with Adam and Brett Walton, the Waltwins on YouTube. They're YouTube sensations, I will say. What's the first thing you do when you get up in the morning? Absolutely first thing you do.
First thing I do is it's the bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's normal.
because I do a morning show and my day starts so early, so I have everything. Usually, like to have everything set up, my clothes out and everything. Shower the night before, so I don't have to worry about showering in the morning. So yeah, it's the toiletries and brushing the teeth
There you go.
and stretching out and just waking myself up as quickly as possible.
There you go.
Very first thing, same thing. I get up at 5:30. Very first thing I do is I grab my phone and I wonder what life choices led me to where I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. I do some self-reflection and some contemplation in that short walk from the bed to the bathroom.
Mhm.
I do a lot of mumbling. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know, the Tina Cannon, we had her on last year, and we asked her that question in this big Southern accent. She goes, "You mean the first thing I do after I pee?" Yeah, well, that's the first thing. What's one thing
Yeah.
you miss about your time in college or school?
Man, you know, the funniest thing about being in schools, I think, and this is life, isn't it? When you're younger, you can't wait till you're 16 because you can drive, and you can't wait till you
Mhm.
graduate because you have more time. And I was married in college, and I had actually had three of my four kids while in college, and
Wow.
I miss the simplicity of it. You know, I just so many good memories of just walking and studying. And I will say, I went to school when I was older. I graduated when I was 34, I think. I'd done retail for a number of years before I decided I wanted to go to school. And I miss the simplicity of it, but I loved studying. And I'm grateful that I went when I was older. I think if I would have gone right out of high school, I would not have enjoyed it as much. I don't think I would have done as well. So I think for me, that's what it is. Just
Yeah.
the time that I had and really just enjoying throwing myself into learning new things.
Yeah,
Brett?
for me, other than friends and camaraderie, I miss dearly. My body. I could eat whatever I wanted, and it stayed nice and slim, and I could walk around with my shirt off all day, every day, and don't get the same reaction from the chicks these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My problem is if I go to the beach, Greenpeace is always trying to push me back in the water. You know, that kind
Yeah.
of so,
Keep rushing water over you to keep you alive.
yeah. Guys up there with a Dixie cup pouring it on your head, you know, it's like, you know.
Oh,
um,
man.
do you have a favorite classic movie? And I use this as an example almost every show. Mine is Casablanca. Leanne's is Willy Wonka.
It's not.
I was going with you. I'm like, okay.
Actually, hers is Reservoir Dogs, I think. So
One of them. Yeah, I love it.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But do you have a favorite?
Probably Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, our dad was a boxer and so we watched all the Rockies with him and still can be able to watch it today, even though I haven't watched it in several years. I still have that same enjoyment from the beginning until he's running up the stairs till, he's fighting Apollo, and it's just
Yeah,
all
it's
time
good.
great,
It
great
is a
classic.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
For me, I've watched The Princess Bride more than any other movie, and it's not even close. Hundreds of times. To me, The Princess Bride.
Well, here's the Carl Weathers when you talk about Rocky. So here's the
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
mention Carl.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adam, this is you're a teacher. Do you think that cooking can help kids who are having trouble in math?
Ooh, good question. I'm horrible at math, and cooking still hasn't helped me. I think it can for sure. With basic math,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think
yeah,
you've got to
yeah,
learn
measurements. Mhm.
yeah.
Sure.
yeah, and things like that. And I think that definitely helps. So yeah, absolutely. I think cooking. Aside from that, you learn a lot of discipline and other things that you have to do, and by being able to learn some of those things, it does expand. And I think those of us who are educators today, we feel like where we've really gotten away is teaching kids basics. We've gotten so focused on content and what they need to know to test for the next level. We've gotten away
Yeah.
from some of the basics, and I think that some of that would really help. So I think absolutely teaching cooking would again, the discipline, the respect for the process, respect for heat, respect for the way things come together, and yeah, even math, you got to get those measurements.
Absolutely. Okay, only a couple more here, guys, and we'll let you go.
Awesome.
And we're going back to if you could dine with and cook for a historical figure. You've had 19 minutes to think about it.
That's
So,
okay. I do have mine, and only because it's one person. I don't know why. Maybe just from childhood. I would love to meet Michael Jordan, so I'd love to cook for Michael
Yeah.
Jordan. I consider him historical because I still think he's
Sure.
the GOAT in basketball.
oh yeah,
I will fight my students about that. They're all Team LeBron. I'm like, no, Michael Jordan.
no, Jordan.
And I think that nothing would make the man happier than some seriously really perfect filet mignon or a big ribeye with some nice mashed potatoes from scratch, and maybe even some fries to dip in those mashed potatoes, a little bit of side of gravy, and some greens. So either some broccoli on the side or just as basic as it can be, but just I think steak and potatoes, super, super easy. That's my thought.
There you go, Brett.
It's funny, Michael. This is sometimes we twin a lot like this. I was going to go with Michael Jordan as well because you did that. I'll go with another one I thought of. Tiger Woods, really simple smash burgers would be quick. We could eat. We could get on the course, and he could teach me a thing or two because I just gave him the best burger he's ever put in his mouth.
I'll have to get you hooked on grilling at the green, Brett.
Yes, you do.
There you go.
Done. I love it. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, last question, and you'll see why. What would your last meal be on death row?
Oh boy.
Man, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Some
there's no
pizza, a good
limits.
burger, a good steak, a good cut of steak. Man,
Pasta.
I'd even have to have I'd have to have a side of pasta, some maybe orange chicken.
A loaf of garlic bread. A loaf at least.
Hello.
A loaf of
Yeah,
garlic bread.
Just I mean, if that doesn't kill you before being on 10th row, that's the
Right.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
the food
eat up.
can it be death by food? That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah,
Exactly. Big pile of
That-
eggs.
I remember they did God, who was it? Julia Roberts' brother, Eric, was on a TV show and they didn't know it, but he had a peanut allergy. So he asked, and he was on death row. So he asked for a peanut butter sandwich and they ate him and he died, had the anaphylactic shock and died right there. And I thought,
Wow.
one, that was very good writing, but two,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, if you really don't want to go sit in Old Sparky, grab the peanut butter,
There you go.
Yeah.
Find out what'll get you. Yeah. But if it's not clear, we're definitely savory dudes. We love our sweets, but man, we'll take the savory over the sweet anytime.
There you go. You sound like Leanne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
She
like
does like her
nice.
sweets. She likes her
Yeah,
sweets.
but not as much. I agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same.
Adam and Brett, folks, it's Adam and Brett Walton from the Waltwins. You can find them on YouTube. They work with Pit Boss. They're working with some other people. They've got a couple of books out, which Leanne will get them. I won't. So, but
Yes,
I'll cry. I'll cry and have them send me one for Christmas.
That's what we'll do.
See ya.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
All right.
But
But
I'll see you guys in Daytona.
yeah,
Yes, we cannot
Yes,
wait.
we're so
500.
excited. We're so excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
you gotta keep an eye on her for me. Okay.
It's
We'll
easy.
do.
We're gonna be
I'll-
doing a lot of stage time with her, so we'll definitely be close.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
I'll
that'll
be
be good.
watching Tiger Woods. So you guys can do
There you
that.
go.
Anyway, thanks. You guys have been great
Yeah,
guests.
thank you so much.
And I
Thanks
appreciate
so
it
much
so
for
much.
having us. Thanks for the
Yeah.
invite.
You
It's
bet.
such an honor.
We will be back next week with another edition of After Hours with Carolyn will be with us. Carolyn Wells, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
So please tune in for that. Remember our motto, go out there, turn it, don't burn it, be kind, and take care, everybody.